Today's podcast is presented by Podgo. Podgo is the easiest way for you to monetize your podcast, providing podcasters with a flat rate for ad space so you always know how much you get when you include an ad from Podgo.
Apply today and become a member and immediately be connected with advertisers that fit your audience. That's podgo.co at podgo.co.
And be sure to add our podcast in the How Did You Hear About Podgo section of the application.
Ideals like peace, freedom, and justice, they get packed up, but we can all go home. Well, I'm not going home. I'm gonna get on my boat, and I'm going upriver, and I'm going to kick that son of a bitch Bison's ass so hard that the next Bison wannabe is gonna feel it. Now, who wants to go home and who wants to go with me?
Welcome to the Rated G for Gamers podcast, episode 278. Before we start the show, we want to thank all of our wonderful fans who have supported us. And if you want to show support for Rated G, the Rated G Network, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/Rated G for Gamers. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Rated G for Gamers. And finally, please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. We appreciate all the love. I'm your host, Dave Rotino, and this is my co-host, Dan, the podcaster formerly known as Classic Robinson.
What's going on, man?
E3, you sound a little pained, Dan. What's up?
E3 is over. Finally. Somewhat.
Yeah, well, it's
somewhat.
Kind of. We still have EA and possibly whatever Sony may or may not do.
I know, so, but we did what we always do.
Kinda.
We knocked out 4 episodes. 4 E3 episodes. We watched everything. We've seen every indie show. We watched every major show. Honestly, there's only 2 major shows because no one else really came other than Xbox
and Nintendo. That's right.
Yeah. So I'm just glad it's over. It was exciting. I just wish EA and Sony would have been a part of it. It would have just
of course.
It would have made it so much better. All right, so I'm just glad. I'm glad it's over. I can't wait to see what Sony's gonna do. All right, and EA. We're gonna talk about EA a little bit in the show, but I didn't know if you knew. I didn't know if you knew this or not. I was just reading something up on this. Did you know that the PS3 and Xbox 360 generation is now being sort of coined the golden era of gaming?
I did not. What? Okay. How?
Well, I was just reading this on Game Rant, Game Ranks.
Okay.
Apparently, the analysis was made by Fandom Spot, and it took a look at like 19 major gaming franchises spanning multiple generations: Call of Duties, the FIFA, the Grand Theft Autos, and it looked at the Metacritic scores.
Sure.
Right, and it's like 15 out of the 19 franchises scored the highest during the PS3 and Xbox 360 generation.
Huh. Okay. So they're going with top selling franchises, and then the best scored out of that series. And 15 of those games fell in the 8th generation, right?
Yes. And I would take a different spin, right? I'll take
7th
a different
generation?
spin at it.
7th generation. 8th generation, right? 360?
Well, we're in the 9th generation right now, right? So that
which would mean the 8th generation. 7th generation, yeah.
That would be the 7th generation, yeah. So I'll take a look at it this way. The Xbox 360, right, really brought us into like online gaming or gaming online, right, through the console. Yes, we had it. We had Xbox Live Gold and Live with the original Xbox, but and PS2, right?
A little bit, yeah. There was some online with it, yeah.
But 360 really like pushed us into like gaming online.
Oh yeah, all the 100%.
First person shooters flourished under the 360. On the 360.
Sure. Yeah.
The PS3. I want to say Sony really had to get creative with their IP. Right, they came out with brand new IP. They had to come up with something different to sort of compete. Right,
yeah.
We got the Uncharted, The Last of Us.
Your favorite franchise of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It all came from that generation.
That's
true. Then the Wii was a household name. Everybody's grandmother had a Wii. So it kind of makes sense that I'm looking at it from a different standpoint. Right?
Yeah. I would have pegged the fourth generation because you had the big Sega, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Genesis fight. And that, gaming is back, right? If anybody had any doubts, Nintendo, I don't know, they may or may not do it. They're a plucky little upstart. The Nintendo killed it. The Super Nintendo killed it. The Genesis killed it, but.
Well, I think that generation was, you really put like Genesis, the Super Nintendo, and like, does the PS1? No, the PS1 would be the next
PS1
generation.
was the next generation, yeah. So you
all right, well, you know what?
Like maybe TurboGrafx in there.
TurboGrafx.
Or, you get all the 16-bit consoles.
I would say that's the Attitude.
Neo Geo.
The Attitude generation.
Yeah, just like in wrestling. Just like in wrestling.
Taking it from wrestling. That was the Attitude. That was the Attitude era.
So is Genesis the Stone Cold Steve Austin then?
The Genesis, yeah. Nintendo does what Sega does what Nintendo don't. Come on, that was.
Oh my god.
Those were the Monday Night Wars. That was the console wars. Right?
That's right.
That's the Attitude.
Right.
That was the Attitude era.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So
yeah. Wow.
So
Seventh generation. Yeah. You're right because I think, having a console that was essentially always online or had online connectivity with just about every game. I think like every game had some sort of online connectivity. That was like kind of cool. Broadband was pretty widespread at that point. You had friends lists and online chat and all that. Not on the Wii, but PS3 and Xbox.
And the Wii was the first console to have Netflix.
It did. Yeah. That kind of ushered in like apps on your gaming console. Right?
I think if you look at it, you can look at it from this standpoint. That was sort of. I don't think it was with the 6th generation. I think it was more so with the 7th generation where, you either was 360 or the PS3, but everybody had a Wii too, right? Because their mom had a Wii upstairs.
Oh yeah.
Right? It wasn't like that in the 6th generation. All the games came out on all the platforms: Xbox, PS2, GameCube.
They were pretty much across the board.
It was all across the board, and it always was, what were the exclusives, right? That made you buy that console. This generation made you, everybody had a Wii because their parents had a Wii, but they were either 360 or PS3. So I think that could be the golden era. I want to agree with that.
That's I think they've made a strong case for it. I think they made a strong case.
Okay. And with that said, Dave, we have an awesome show this week. All right. We're going to get into our half game of the year picks. So
yeah.
All right. So what game would you pick for half game of the year? Not a lot of new games came out. I want to say not a lot of big blockbuster AAA games came out halfway through the year. So
it's not always the makings of a game of the year, Scope and size and budget don't always,
I would like to go back and listen to our old shows and see how many of the half game of the years actually won game of the year.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe Uncharted. I think because Uncharted came out around like around May.
Sure.
Yeah. Uncharted
Wasn't
4 came out around May.
2018 God of War? Come on now.
God of War 2? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you never know.
I wanted to go with Red Dead, but you made a strong case for God of War, and I couldn't say no.
But let's begin the show with the notable games coming out in July. All right. This is the last show in June. What can you look forward to in July? July is a little scarce, with the exception of one little game you may have heard of, but we'll get in that in a second. But starting off the month, July 9th, coming out to Switch and PC, oddly enough, Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this is a Monster Hunter game that by its title, has stories, right?
Right.
So, I'm a story-driven person.
Yeah,
I may
automatically, you have to buy it on the name alone.
I gotta buy it on the name alone.
gotta.
I may pick this up.
You gotta
for the Switch. So and it subsequently, I may pick up the original Monster Hunter Stories. I think that's on the 3DS.
You gotta be a completionist, of course.
Gotta be a completionist.
Mm-hmm.
The next game that's coming out July 16th. Space Jam: A New Legacy coming out for the Xbox Series X, S, and One. I know the movie's coming out.
Yeah,
I didn't know there was a game.
The movie with LeBron James. He's the new Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah, just in the replacing the main protagonist. I'm not saying LeBron is better than Jordan.
We're not gonna get in. We're not gonna get into that. I mean, he's lost more finals than Jordan, but that's
No, I agree.
LeBron fans.
I agree. So, Jordan's the man.
So is this like an Xbox exclusive? Because Xbox has they sent out promo packs to people. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, we didn't get one.
No. I think we missed the boat by a little bit.
That much.
Yeah, by that much.
So they have controllers, special made controllers by ID of Xbox, where it's all like Space Jam themed. I never even heard. I know the movie again. I know the movie's coming out. Never even knew they were making a game. Didn't see a trailer or anything. So now I gotta look this up. See what's going on.
Well, they made one for the first movie, right? On the
they have it for the Saturn and they have it for the PlayStation.
And Saturn, yeah.
I always wanted to pick up the Saturn version, but I never had a Saturn. Right? I wanted my friend to pick up the Saturn version, but he didn't want that. He wanted to pick up. What was that game? I think it was Live 97 or the version of Live that was for the Saturn.
Oh yeah, like the Sega Sports version, or.
Yeah, well, there was a basketball game. I think Kobe was on it. Kobe was on the. I have it. I know I have it. The name is escaping.
It wasn't like Hang Time, was it?
No. It wasn't. Okay. Hang Time was more like NBA Jam.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
This was like a full simulation.
NBA Give and Go?
No. That definitely doesn't even sound familiar. I gotta look this up when we go to
Give and Go. Give and Go is definitely a game, yeah.
When we go to break, I'm gonna look this up.
All right. I'm curious now.
So, yeah. Well, you're curious, but I'm curious about the Space Jam game that I never even saw a trailer for. I mean, we had E3 and no one said anything about Space Jam.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give you a little hint. It's not gonna be good.
Okay, no. It's not gonna be in the running for Game of the Year 2021.
I mean, look. I did say that not every game has to be AAA and have a AAA budget to win Game of the Year. So you never know. You never know. If it comes out on Game Pass, I'll play it.
Coming out the same day. Oh God, which game will we buy that day? Space Jam: A New Legacy or The Legend of Zelda: Skyward Sword HD for the Switch.
Yep.
With the amiibo, by the way, that's coming out. That's $25.
It's gonna cost you about $100 and some odd all in.
Oh, I'm all in. I'm all in on that.
You're gonna also get the controllers too.
I'm not getting the controllers.
Then you're not all in. You're not all in.
I'm mostly in. I'm mostly in.
Same. But yeah, I'm gonna have to pick that up.
A game. Well, the next game that comes out the next day, a game that I will play on Games Pass because my Games Pass will expire 4 days after that. I don't know if I'm going to renew it. Yes, I said it. I know. I don't want to feel like paying $15 a month, but
it's only an extra $5 a month because Xbox Live is $10, so it's technically just an extra $5.
But I already have Xbox Live for the rest of the year.
If you have Games Pass, it should have converted all your stuff to Games Pass subscription months.
It still says I have Xbox Live until next February.
You should check on that because it should do the conversion because it did it for me. It took all the rest of my months and turned them into Games Pass month.
All right. Well, I'll have to look into that. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Okay.
But Microsoft Flight Simulator coming out July 27th. I want to try it out. I don't think that's something that's going to keep my attention, but I definitely would love to fly to Mexico virtually.
Yeah, I hear it's beautiful. Everything's nicely modeled. You can fly in a ton of different planes. I don't know how the crashing works. I don't know if you can like
I think they said
nosedive
you can
into a
land
mountain.
now. No, but I think
can-
they said you can land now.
Okay.
I could have sworn I heard something about like like one of the deep dives
Mhm.
that you can actually now land, and we can instead of just crashing and going to another city.
Huh. Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, I hope you can land. That would be kind of weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
well, I'm
kind of
just
weird that you can't. That they made a simulation game and you can't actually land the plane.
Well, I mean, I think they may have tried to prevent you from like running into a mountain or worse, a building. You know,
Okay,
because then you essentially have a 9/11 simulator, right?
that's true.
You know, and I think Microsoft Flight Simulator 10, I think they had to patch out the Twin Towers for that exact reason. So
No, that makes sense. I didn't think about
Yeah.
it. That's a good point.
yeah.
And last game on our list coming out July 27th, and that is the Ascent. It's coming out for the Xbox Series X, NS, Xbox One, and PC. We knew about this game
Twin stick
since
shooter.
last E3 season, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Definitely look good. I know I'm about the twin stick shooter. I definitely would. I want to pick this up, and this is coming out on Games Pass too. So
Yeah.
2 days before my Games Pass expires.
Is it coming out physical though? Right? It's coming out next month. Is it coming
I
out
hope
physical?
so.
That's the question.
I hope so.
Yeah. I feel like it's one of those games that should be if it's not. And
I feel
think
like Microsoft Flight Simulator should be a physical release.
Yeah. Most definitely.
If you have a farming simulator that came out, why can't Flight Simulator come out?
Farming Simulator that comes out year after year, by the way, because they numbered them.
Come on.
Oh.
We need a Flight Simulator that comes out.
Yeah. This is true.
All right, not a lot of big name titles coming out in July.
Mhm.
I would say the biggest would be the Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD collection.
Yep.
I mean, well, the HD. I
Version,
definitely am going to
yeah.
pick that up.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say that episode, that week that we record, it will be a part of this segment. You know what segment that is, Dave?
What's that? Is it my favorite segment of the show, Dan?
It may be. All right. Wait, hold for it. Are you ready?
Mhm.
Dave, as we always try to start the show, but epically fail. What have you been playing?
Love it. Epic we fail, episode after episode. But still, we get to it, and I love it. So
The whole reason why we even have a show is to talk about the games.
Talk about the games we've been playing. That's right. So I did just right before the show, I did pick up the Mass Effect trilogy. So I'm excited for that. Got it on the Series X. I have yet to start playing it, but what I am playing, or what I beat, is Resident Evil Village.
Oh, you beat it.
Mm-hmm.
I
Game
didn't want to
done,
spoil the
baby.
end. I didn't want to spoil the ending for you because I've seen it. But
Mm-hmm.
what a crazy ending, right?
100%.
Spoiler free. Okay.
Spoiler free. Yeah, we can't necessarily spoil anything. I think I know who's going to be starring in the next game.
Well, that will end the trilogy, right? Resident Evil 9.
That'll close the book on the trilogy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Given how the ending goes, I think it's a fair assumption who's going to be the star of the next game. And I'm not saying anything about anybody.
Did you see the twist coming?
No, I didn't think it was going to go down like that. Not surprised, because I mean it's Capcom and Resident Evil. I mean, there's like literally, well, I mean I can't spoil it either, but there's like literally a point in the game where I'm like, seriously? They did that? And I'm like, all right, if you're going to do that, then all bets are off. So, yes, I was not expecting it, but I also wasn't surprised. I was like, oh, okay. And I think it may be the first time in the series that they've actually done that with a character in the series.
Okay.
So,
and we'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. Yeah, I don't want to give anything else away. And I've also been playing because I downloaded it before, right? They had it on Games with Gold, ages ago, back in like 2015 or 2016. Defense Grid 2. It is a tower defense game set in space. It's got a pretty decent story. It's got great gameplay mechanics. And the more you play, the more you unlock. And the more you can kind of customize your towers before you start the battle. I love it. So I am back in it, full swing. And yeah. Okay. And by this time next week, I'll have some things to say about Mass Effect. So,
gotcha. Okay.
How about you?
I feel the same way about this game that I actually been playing a demo for, and that's Scarlet Nexus.
Oh yeah.
Been playing a demo on the PS5.
Mm-hmm.
I did pre-order it for the PS5.
Mm-hmm.
A long time ago. I thought Xbox has the marketing for this game, oddly enough, but
right.
I got it on the PS5. It's the closest thing to Astral Chain on the consoles. Right?
It looked
PS5 or the Xbox.
It looked a lot like Astral Chain when I saw the preview at E3 last year.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like Astral Chain 2 or something along those lines, but we thought maybe that was too soon. Not to mention Nintendo owns that IP too, I think we spoke about that. Like Nintendo actually owns the IP for Astral Chain.
Right. So
Scarlet Nexus, this time next week, I hope to be talking about a lot about Scarlet Nexus because I played the heck out of that demo, and I stopped playing a demo because I said, you know what, I want the full game experience. I want to go.
I'm going to hold off.
Yeah, and it's like not letting me go and explore, and I don't know if that's because it's a demo or I didn't really finish the first section of it. So I just want the game.
Do you know if you can take your progression into the full game or no?
I don't know, but I was been playing another game, which is another reason why I stopped playing this game. Playing the demo, and I just want the full experience. I beat Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Nice. Wow.
Also
you got through that quick.
Yeah, listen, that game is amazing. I gotta say. I was a little disappointed in someone's review because they said, I forgot somebody on YouTube. I don't know if it was, it definitely wasn't IGN. Maybe it was GameSpot, where they said it didn't have as many guns as the prior Ratchet and Clank games. And that's BS. They had a million weapons and gadgets. I had like 30 guns and missile, you have like the different gloves that you can throw different types of bombs and grenades and stuff like that. I had like at least 20 different weapon types.
Yeah, 20 is about what was in the first one, I think. So that's
yeah, and I didn't even get it all.
Wow.
Because I didn't get enough of the sparks, to get, you gotta get like over 100,000. You get into those type of the big weapons, right?
Jesus.
So I didn't even do that. There's a lot of weapons on here. I actually beat it the first time. I beat it twice. Okay, I beat it the first time accidentally on easy. And on easy mode, you can't die.
Oh yeah.
So I had played halfway through on just normal, and there was one particular boss that I thought was sort of like a cheesy boss, and at that point I just wanted to get through it, so I put it on easy just for that boss.
Yep.
And then I got mixed up with work because life gets in the way. Had to put the controller down for a day, day or two. Came back, totally forgot I had it on easy, and I was just breezing through it. And I had to go back and play it on normal and beat it. So I beat it twice.
Nice. All right.
Game is amazing.
Good.
Definitely, game's amazing. I recommend it. If you don't have a reason to have a PS5, it is a reason to have a PS5.
Possible game of the year contender?
We'll see.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Huh. All right.
All right. With that said, let's take a break. And when we come back, we'll get into the top gaming news of last week.
All right.
Hey, this is Matt Adler, freelance journalist for IGN, and you're listening to Rated G for Gamers podcast.
To the top gaming news of last week. Let's start with EA, right? EA, they still haven't had EA Play yet, right? That's coming out July 29th, if I'm not mistaken. It's definitely coming towards the 23rd, towards the end of next month, which is when I will officially say E3 is done. and we could be done with this. I hope Sony goes before that.
Mm-hmm.
Please, Sony goes. I hope they go before that.
But I just hope they have something. Period.
That too. That's
I don't care when they go.
I think they will. I think they need to.
Mm-hmm.
So, because right now, Microsoft, Xbox has like sort of the mind share of everybody.
They're dominating the news cycle.
So, but EA could have something to say about that, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
no one ever looks forward to EA at E3. They usually go before. They're usually the day before on a Saturday, and we hear about their Red Alert mobile game. Right, we hear about all the mobile games, all the sports games.
Yep.
Rarely do they have anything of AAA games that like the hardcore gamers really care about.
Well,
However,
yeah. Every now and again, we'll get a Jedi Fallen Order. That was a great year. That was a great year. But
that's true, and they didn't monetize. They didn't do microtransactions.
No,
surprisingly,
no.
Right?
I mean, most of the time it's Battlefield. It's whatever. Yeah. Right. The one game with no microtransactions.
But this EA play may be a little bit different. If you're going to listen to the leaks and the rumors, looks like EA will be reviving an old IP, and there's some leaks out there that could point to it being Dead Space. A reimagining of the series, right?
Fan favorite Dead Space.
Everybody's been asking for a new Dead Space game for the last half a decade.
Well, they canned the series after 3 because they tried to take it in a different direction. It had like co-op multiplayer, and I think there may have been some microtransaction shenanigans in that game as well.
100%.
I think so. The first 2 games were straight up survival horror with a bunch of guns, and it was a really good series done by Respawn. I think Respawn did 1 and 2. Very good. And then 3, they kind of botched it. Sales numbers weren't great, and they said we're putting this to bed.
But I played the original Dead Space. Funny enough, on the iPad.
Oh, God.
I played it on the iPad.
I forgot it came out on the iPad.
Yeah, that was my first place to play it.
How?
And I thought it was a great iPad game.
I mean,
I wasn't into gaming. I wasn't in the trenches at that point at that time.
No. I mean,
so I thought it was an iPad game.
How was the experience of it? That's the question.
Well, obviously, it's always sucks when you have the controls on a touchscreen, right? Compared to having a controller.
Was it like a dual stick on the left and right that you had to like move around?
Yeah. It was never a great experience, but it's better to do a first-person shooter that way than do Sonic trying to platform precisely. I tell you
Oh my God, right? And trying to do the spins and all that? Yeah, no.
Yeah. So this is a little bit more actiony. Obviously, it's spooky, which is why I didn't beat it or anything, and I haven't played. I have all the Dead Space games. I have the 1, 2, 3, and the one for the Wii that they made. I forgot the name of it.
The Extraction? Yeah.
I mean, I know again, it's not a total survival horror game in space. It's not like Alien Isolation, but the spooky elements. I'm good. You can count me out.
Oh, dude, there's a. Well, are you ever gonna play 1 or 2?
I'll try it.
Can I go ahead and spoil a scene for you?
I can care less. I already know how Resident Evil 8 ends, and I haven't beaten it either.
Okay, fair enough. So there's a part, I believe it's in 2, and I forget the reason. Well,
for anybody who hasn't played Dead Space,
I mean, it's like 15 years old. Come on, it's all right. Spoilers, but it's 15 years old.
Spoilers.
Come on.
Okay.
All right, spoilers. No, fair enough. Spoilers. Jump ahead like 2 minutes or so. There's a scene in part 2 where you have to put, or Isaac, the main character, gets on a bed, and there's a machine, and you have to inject your eye with a spike, and it injects you with some sort of special eye power or whatever. And the way they do it is, instead of it being like third person behind, like over the shoulder, they switch to a top-down bird's eye view, and you're playing as the machine, and you have to guide it into his eye. It is terrible. You're just like, Oh my God. And you're sitting there with the controller and you're going left, going right, and he's like twitching and it's like, and they're like, the machine's holding the eye open. Oh, dude.
Yeah. All right. I'm good. You're not selling me. Okay. I thought you were supposed to sell me on this game.
I wasn't trying to sell you. I was just telling you it was a wild moment in that game.
I thought
and no one was expecting it.
This game. I thought you were trying to. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing it. I'm good.
Well,
okay.
Granted, that's the end of part 2, so you can play the first one without having to poke Isaac in the eye.
Play the third one. The third one no one likes. It's probably more action. The third one. It's probably like Resident Evil 6. I'll take it.
It's co-op. You know, we could totally play together.
I'll take it. Okay. It's not all rosy for EA right now, right? I mean, I think they would be in good graces if they did bring back the Dead Space franchise.
Yeah, fans would be over the moon.
With no microtransactions and no loot boxes.
Straight up single player experience, big story mode, huge campaign. Yep. That would be great.
However, if you're FIFA, not so lucky. Right? Because EA now lets you see what's in FIFA loot boxes before you buy them. And that is their solution to the whole loot box fiasco, because they just don't want to stop with the loot boxes because it makes them so much money. So I can understand from a business standpoint why they're fighting this.
Well, they're doing this for a limited time, or at least they're saying they're doing it for a limited time
to see how it goes. What's the response, right? They don't want to do anything permanent if it's going to be a terrible response, right? Because if everybody hates it, that it's it's a limited time, we're going to stop it, don't worry about it. But if everyone loves it and it's something that this is going to get the authorities or advocacies, for child gambling off their back, then they're going to implement this
Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and set the table here, right? So FIFA's got the FIFA Ultimate Team, right? Madden's got an Ultimate Team, and NHL has an Ultimate Team, right?
Well, what's an Ultimate Team for someone who doesn't know? Because I don't know that much about the. What
so they started it. I believe FIFA 15 was the first one that did it, and normally what you would do is you would pick your team, right? Say you're a Paris Saint-Germain fan, or you love the, you love the New York City Football Club, or you like Chelsea or Milan, or whatever. There's millions of teams, and normally you pick your team, you go head to head against either a computer, or you play somebody else online, or you take a team and you play the story mode or the season mode, and you take your team to the championship. Right? Those are pretty standard modes of play. So what they did in 15, they said, hey, wouldn't it be cool if you could make your ultimate team? So every player is a card, right? And you start off with a team of 11, 11 plus a couple other substitutes, and you build your team of 11, right? And every card has its own abilities and whatever. Every player has a rating, and depending on who you put where, and their background, their nationality, and all that, you'll get different synergies with the players. So there's a little bit of a mini game to build the ultimate team of players that'll work well together, right? There's different attributes, and you can see how well your team is doing, right? And that's all before you get on the pitch, right? So then when you get on the pitch, you're playing your team against, whoever else's team, right? And that's what a FIFA Ultimate Team is, right?
Okay.
And you can buy other packs of cards, which is where the loot box thing comes in, right? You can also grind it out, right? If you get in-game currency from doing well, you can eventually get up enough to buy a new pack. But really, it comes down to paying real-world money, getting a pack, and you get 5, 6, 7, 8, however many cards inside, and then you can do what you want with them. You can sell them back if you have doubles, or if they're not good, or you can put them on your team. You can put them in the roster and mix them up and switch out some guys and whatnot. That's essentially what FIFA Ultimate Team is, right? I thought it was super cool. I thought it was a really neat idea, and so did EA, and it did amazing. Made them $500 million in the first year, right?
We're in the wrong business, my friend. That's
exactly right. That's exactly right. And then I think in 16, if I'm not mistaken, they kicked it off in Madden, and they also do it in NHL. So now it's $1.6 billion thus far in 2021.
And 2021 is not even over.
No.
Yes.
No. So they are making money hand over fist with this mode, right? And I was looking at some other numbers too. Apparently all of the Ultimate Team revenue, that's 27% of their total company revenue from 2020. So a quarter of their revenue came from people opening loot boxes, right? So that's just what it is, and that's how successful it's been for them, right? The problem
and controversial.
Well, that's where like the problem comes in. You think like, well, what's the big deal and whatnot? Is they've been known to put up advertisements in UK toy stores to advertise towards kids, right? There are some metrics where they say that a lot of youth are buying these cards, right? Because I mean, it's kind of addictive, and they kind of obfuscate. Most games do, but they obfuscate what the total is, right? So you're using in-game currency. It's not like you have $5. It's like you have 750 coins, right? And I don't think it's 1-to-1. I don't think $1 equals 1 coin. So you can't even do the math that easy, right? You're just like, I want to get another loot box or whatever. All right, it costs this. Fine, I'll spend $20, get some credits, and then buy some packs or whatever it is, right? So there's all that. Now, to muddy the waters even further, they now have the new Ultimate Team, like, preview peak mode that works with certain packs of cards to kind of commemorate the World Cup qualifiers or whatever. I think they're trying to, get all the country teams in the 32 bracket or 64 bracket or whatever it is. So they put out some new stuff, right? There's this preview mode. The way the preview mode works is you can see what's in the pack, and you have the option within 24 hours to hit the button, right? So they're letting you kind of see like, oh, here's what's going to be in the thing, right? Which I think is kind of cool, but someone also said it's like, well, what's going to be in the next pack? Like, you don't know what's going to be in the next pack. So it's like, well, what if this one's good, then the next one's not good, right? Like, you don't know. There's still kind of a bit of like, well, what if I miss out? What if this is the good pack, right? So you have to wait 24 hours and then that's it. Like, it's just weird. I think it's a little.
Play devil's advocate there for a second. Now that you've explained it, they're giving you a pack of cards of players, and you're getting to preview it. So there is no game of chance. You see what you're buying. You have a limited time to purchase it. So that is, how is that an issue where you see the whole issue with loot boxes is you don't know what you're buying. Here, you know what you're buying. You have the option to buy it or not. So it's not really a loot box.
You can only preview. You can only preview one pack at a time within a 24-hour period.
Well, that makes sense.
And it's only for certain types of boxes too, right?
Okay.
It's only for a certain subset of a box because I think they're.
It should be for everything. It should be for every single box, and then maybe there wouldn't be any real controversy.
Well, that's not even kind of the worst of it, right? The worst of it is, so all these kind of numbers and whatever else like came out. I think part of it came out from the leak, because I don't think EA necessarily discloses all of those numbers, but all that stuff was found out. So there was a memo that was spread around the company that was written, and now it's kind of been leaked, saying that loot boxes, the Ultimate Team specifically, is the way of the future for EA Sports, right? They're like, this is the thing.
Like, Ultimate Team is the thing of all sports?
Well,
sports games.
the ultimate team is the thing that everyone needs to be focused on, right? That's your number one goal. Their number one goal is ultimate team. That needs to be the thing that everybody focuses on year after year. That needs to be successful and generate more revenue. That's where the EA Sports, the subset of EA, is focused on, right? Not to mention that there's some lawsuits being filed because you look at right, so you know the percentages ahead of time, right? Yeah. You can look at the pack percentages and say, okay, I have 100% chance to get at least a rank 70 or better, right? I have maybe a 15% chance to get a rank 80 or better, right? It goes up to 99, right? And I think there's like less than 1% chance to get like 85 to 99, right? 99 is technically the best player. But even on top of that, they have legends, right? So like Pele, right? But it's not just Pele. It's like Pele in his heyday, like Pele when he's top of the game. Think like Tom Brady winning his 6th ring, right? Or his 5th ring or his 4th ring, right? Tom Brady in his prime. So it's even more than just like Pele. It's like special Pele. And those are even more difficult to get, right? And they dangle that carrot in front of you, right? But it's been speculated, and there's kind of a lawsuit that I think is being either built or going through the courts right now, where they've artificially tweaked the difficulty level to where you need to get those ultimate players to even be able to have a chance.
Okay.
Right.
Now that is some scumbag stuff right there.
Right.
Now I would call them out on
whether that's true or not, we don't necessarily know, but it would all make sense given what we know so far. And I wouldn't necessarily put that past them to do that. That's not something they need to disclose, right? Like, what are your chances of actually getting anywhere with the team that you have, or with the pulls that you're probably going to get from these ultimate cards, right? The ultimate packs or whatever it is. So that's where the things kind of get a little bit weird. That's where the things are a little like, I don't know, EA.
Okay.
Right?
All right. Okay. Oh, just to wrap it up a little bit, I just want to say the FIFA preview packs where you get the preview, I don't think is so bad. You get a chance to see what you're buying. It's a limited time. That's on you if you want to buy it or not.
It feels a little bit better. It feels a little bit better because you know like what's gonna be in that particular pack. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
But
yeah.
But tweaking a difficulty setting to entice you to buy the pack, that's where the scumbag rules come in, right? Because we had this with Star Wars Battlefront 2, where you had to grind to get Darth Vader, and they made it to where you had to grind insurmountable
40 hours.
Yeah, who's gonna do that?
40 hours.
40 hours of the game just to get Darth Vader, right? Where it's incentivized to pay for it. So that part is definitely shitty.
They tweaked the numbers. They tweaked the numbers just enough to make the packs enticing. All right.
And EA also tweaks the numbers, or crunches the numbers, I should say, so they can spend some of the money that they're making. And in this case, Microsoft is not the only one buying studios.
Oh shoot!
Because EA also, you can say what you want about EA, and trust me, we do. We took them to task during the Battlefront 2 fiasco, during the loot box fiasco, and loot boxes are illegal in
Belgium,
Holland,
I
right?
believe.
Oh, Belgium. Right?
Yeah.
So we've taken them to task, and we took them to. You just gave me the whole. I didn't even know about this ultimate pack.
It's a whole other game in and of itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But EA does make they do hold a lot of IP, and they do make a lot of money. And at the end of the day, they like to remind us that yes, they made great games, especially during the fifth generation with the PlayStation.
Oh my God, yeah.
But they're also a business. And we talked about this, I want to say about 4 weeks ago, about Microsoft maybe potentially purchasing some of Warner Brothers Studios from AT&T, and they just partnered with Discovery, and they said the video game division is going to be a part of that, right? We don't know how they're going to implement that, but it looks like one of their most profitable smaller studios, Playdemic, has just been sold to EA for like $1.4 billion off of one game, Golf Clash.
Oh, interesting. Golf Clash.
They spent some of that loot box money and bought a new studio.
Oh, it's a drop in a hat, considering, right? This is, you know, that's 1 year of mostly FIFA Ultimate Team pack revenue that went to Playdemic. Wow. Who has only made one game, Golf Clash, which I looked up Golf Clash. In just 4 years, they made, or I guess like 3 years when the game came out, I guess 2018, they made almost $250 million off of Golf Clash. So there you go. Well, mobile game, with DLC or microtransactions in there. They did very successful. So I can see why EA would want to pick this company up. And
they bought them in large part to bolster their mobile division. Right?
Well, there you go.
I don't think Red Alert's making them enough money, so they need Golf Clash too.
God, Red Alert. Oh. I mean, I'm glad they did the remaster of like Command and Conquer and Red Alert on the PC this year, but I was so upset to see Command and Conquer Mobile. Oh.
All right. Well, you know what? Maybe I can turn your frown upside down with this next story.
Oh boy.
It looks. Everybody's been waiting for Tekken X Street Fighter. We got Street Fighter X Tekken.
That's right.
I thought it was pretty good. I didn't think it was as terrible as people thought it was.
Yeah, fans were not crazy about it. Fans weren't crazy about it.
And the director of Tekken actually said a couple of days ago that Harada said that game was canceled, but he's since backtracked and said that Tekken X Street Fighter isn't actually canceled. It's 30% developed as we speak right now.
Wow. So that is surprising. Because I remember him saying, yeah, no, it's canceled. And then immediately, how do you walk that back? Nobody was like, oh, when is this game coming out? Everyone just thought this game is not coming out, right?
Well, he should have just kept it at canceled, and then E3 2024 when it's 100% done,
dude,
just drop the bombshell at a Sony event or an Xbox event,
or Bandai Namco, right? Because they didn't even show up this year. They had a sit down for their new anthology series or whatever, right? Which was a snooze fest. That would have been the ultimate play. That's what they should have done, because I don't think this game is coming out still. I'll be honest. Wow. I would bet money.
Honestly,
right? Because when did Cross Tekken come out? 2012? 2011? I think so.
Yeah, it was the beginning. It was the beginning of the decade.
Right.
Of that decade, yeah.
Right. So it's been like almost 10 years since we heard anything about this. And nobody's thinking this. I
think it's still. I mean, it's 30% done. Why didn't he just leave it at canceled? If that's the case, I think it's going to be. I think it's on its way.
I hope you're right, man.
I think it's on its way.
I hope you're right. I really want to see what Harada is going to do with the cross of the two games, right? Because then we can get HDR 4K visuals with all the great lighting and all that, and nice updated.
I say this game is
models.
not coming out. I say this game is in the works and is going to come out after Street Fighter 6.
Mm-hmm. It could.
It's going to be after Street Fighter 6 will be first.
Yeah.
I think Street Fighter 6 is practically done, and they're waiting until next year to unveil. It has to be. It's been 5 years.
Just imagine. Already. Maybe like Harada's like, all right, Capcom, you kind of effed up, but you won by default, right? Because that was the battle. Right, Capcom's like, we can make a better cross-fighting game than you can, and Namco's like, and Namco never stepped up to the table. They were like, all right, let's do it, and then they just silently like put it to the side. So, yeah, wow, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Now you got me all hyped, Dan.
Well, you know what? I want to keep you hyped going.
Uh-huh.
With this last story, I knew I did this just for you. I know how much you want to have a new Konami game. Not Metal Gear, not Contra, not Castlevania. But they just revealed, not at E3, oddly enough, a new game called Crime Site.
Well,
It's the new competitive mystery game you didn't know you wanted.
I don't want it. I mean, I don't even know if I want new Konami games at this point, because anything they do is either pachinko or like mobile with microtransactions.
Well, look, this is right up your alley. It's the new competitive mystery game set in a futuristic London in the year 2075, and it's coming out for PC only as of right now.
Okay. Competitive crime mystery.
It's the game you didn't know you wanted. When they put out Castlevania, no one knew that they were going to crave more Castlevania games. Okay, when Mario came out, we didn't know it was going to be a blockbuster. This is the new...
That was the birth of video games, right? Or that was the revival of video games at that point.
And this is the new hotness to revive your faith in Konami, the new Crime Site game.
Yeah, I don't think so, Dan.
They will have a pachinko machine for it later on next year.
Oh, you could bet your bottom dollar there's going to be a crime site pachinko game. Wow. And it's PC only, huh? That's also weird.
Yeah, it's right up your alley.
I mean, it would possibly wipe the bad taste of what was it? Contra Rogue Corps? Was that the one that everybody hated? That came out 2 years ago.
We hated so much we forgot the name, but at least that was better than Metal Gear Survive.
Oh God, also terrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what happens when you don't have Kojima at the helm. Ugh.
So, all right, that's it for the stories.
Mm-hmm.
Dave, it's time. Let's talk about a half game of the year picks.
Ooh. All right.
I'll let you do the honors.
You let me go first?
Go first.
So I'm gonna have to preface this, right? Normally we do 5 each, right? We do our best to pick distinct games so we don't have duplicates, right? These are our top games of the year, and then we come to a consensus at the end of the year, and we revise our top 5 each, and then we end up coming together and picking a winner. So I gotta say, I couldn't find 5 games, Dan.
Wow.
I couldn't find 5 games. I almost couldn't find five new games I played this year that came out this year. That's how crazy it is. Because there hasn't really been a lot new that's come out this year. Partly because I don't have a PS5.
Can I retroactively just like put Persona 5, not Persona 5, Yakuza Like a Dragon?
Oh, no, they came out at the end of last year. I know.
Good.
I know,
it's so
right?
good. If I would have played it, I would have nominated it for Game of the Year. And I'm not saying it would have won. I'm not saying it would have won, but it would have nominated.
It's going to be in the Game Awards, so you can rest on that.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do my top 3, right? I'm gonna kick it off with Ghost and Goblins Resurrection.
You're gonna do your top 5, and 5 and 4 is vacant.
Yeah, 5 is vacant, 4 is vacant, and number 3, Ghost and Goblins Resurrection.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah. So it currently is digital only, and it is only on the Switch.
It'll be on limited run at some point. Watch.
I know, but I had to pick it up because it looked amazing. I saw everybody.
It's not. I think it came out for all platforms already.
It may have now. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a Switch exclusive, timed exclusive, but I think it's out now on every platform.
Okay, but it's still digital only as far as I know. There's no physical, but I had to get it. I saw everybody playing this game. I said I got to get it. It's essentially a combination of the first game and the Genesis game, Ghouls and Ghosts, or the arcade game, right? Yeah. The first 2 games, and every stage is a remix of either one from the original game or from Ghouls and Ghosts. And you get to choose the path that you want to go on, right? Do you want to go with the Genesis levels? Do you want to go with the Nintendo levels? And then you can kind of crisscross, and you can do like track A or track B, which is kind of cool. And they add new weapons in there, new enemies, new like secrets. You can get like power-ups. It's a really cool game. Number 2 is Resident Evil Village. Great game.
Ooh.
Love it. Action packed. It's just like 4. They kind of hit that sweet spot for me to where it's scary, but you also get a lot of ammo. So you can kind of, you don't have to worry about the one bullet, right? You can kind of make your way through.
Is there a way I can skip the mansion? That's all I want to do is skip the mansion. I was cool outside. I played, and then once you got to the mansion, I was good.
Well, the house you go into next is far worse than the mansion.
Okay, then
yeah. After that, it's not too bad because then you get to the boathouse, and then you get to the factory, which is just like bananas. That's the factories where all the big was with the propellers are.
Oh,
that's
okay.
that section, which
the
was,
one they
which was
plagiarized.
one of my favorites. The one they technically plagiarized. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I love Resident Evil Village. I beat it. I've been playing the Mercenaries mode in it, which is cool. It's a nice little like actiony high score situation.
Okay.
And then my number 1, the game that we need to get back to and finish because man, is it fantastic! It Takes Two.
Wow.
Yep.
This little game, the little game that could. It's like Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks. Surprising everybody.
There you go.
Oh, wow. It's like Devin Booker coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah, man. If you ever played Brothers or A Way Out, this is
Way
by
Out, fantastic.
yeah. This is
Joseph
by
Fares.
Joseph Fares. Yeah, he's a bit of a mini genius. I think he really hit the formula with It Takes Two.
It Takes Two really is good, and the charm is that it's not just a co-op game, that it has other little elements of other games in it too, right?
Yeah.
It has like a little bit of RPG, a little bit of platforming, a little bit of it had a fighting game. It had like
we were doing some Hadoukens and freaking Dragon Punches.
Yeah.
So good.
I wish we had a little bit more of the fighting game in there, but I could see is like every level there was like another mini
different
game
theme
inside. Yeah, and then you even had the Zelda. You had the Zelda rupees.
Oh my God, that's right.
You found that. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, there was a little secret side room.
That
so
game,
good.
Yeah, we definitely have to go back.
Good.
That's a good game. That's a sleeper for a game of the actual year.
Yeah,
that's a sleeper for 2021.
Yeah. I have a strong feeling it's going to be on my list at the end of the year.
If it ain't, it's going to be on mine.
All right. So what do you got, Dan? I know I couldn't come to the table with 5, but I think you think you may have some. All
right. So I want to start by saying I want to put this game as game of the year. In the running. Half game of the year. However, this game technically came out in 2020, and that is Persona 5 Strikers.
Oh, well, it came out in the U.S. this year.
It came out in the U.S. this year, but
yeah,
it was technically a 2020 game, and we could have bought it because the Switch is region free. It just I don't speak Japanese.
Yeah. I think you probably could have get past that because it's just an action game. Really, it's a beat 'em up Muso game. But that
it has a lot of dialogue. They've never.
They've never gone with a Japanese release when they're doing Game of the Year stuff. It's always the country of origin release, or the North American release. I think I would count it. I would count.
You think I can't count it? Okay.
100%. Yeah, I don't think there's any reason not to. Yeah, because I mean.
So with that said,
that would mean you'd have to learn Japanese just to get the most out of it,
right,
and I don't think that's fair to do with any game. I think that's a bridge too far.
With that said, if I can count it, it would be the 5th game on my list, and that means something has to leave the list. And unfortunately, that game is going to have to be Returnal. Returnal is number 5 on my list.
Oh, the game that I want to play so badly but can't.
I know.
On the PS5.
I love the way this game looks. I am into sort of the mystery of what's going on. I love the mechanics. I just hate when you die. I hate the roguelike levels. I'm an old school gamer. The fun of it is memorizing the patterns and going back to it and trying to beat it. That's the fun in it for me. And when you switch everything, you change everything up, it takes the fun out of it for me.
Interesting.
So
yeah,
I have to say Persona 5 knocks out Returnal. But Returnal's still a good game. It looks fantastic.
I know.
If I can do a triple R right now, I would do a triple R for Returnal already. And just make
just take out the roguelike
story.
mechanics, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's funny.
All right. So Persona 5 Strikers, number 5 on my list. Number 4 on my list is also a game that we both played. And it's a game that came out of nowhere. I didn't see this coming. I played the demo on the PS5, and then I played that same demo on the Xbox. And then and because it came out on Games Pass, we got a chance to play the full game together, which we also need to get back to. Outriders.
Oh yeah, we do. They actually just tweaked the end game, and they made it a little bit easier to get the rare drops. I
am all about the story in this game.
Yeah,
we left Earth.
It's pretty solid.
We're trying to populate a new planet, and something weird, this weird fog or weather is coming around, and it turns some of the guys with superpowers, and then others it destroyed. And there's this whole population just still in stasis in the air. They've been that way for like 50 years. It's it's interesting story. I'm all in.
Yeah,
I'm all in. I want to go back and play this game. All right, so now we get to my top 3. I mean, this is definitely new. It's enough new in here to be on the Game of the Year list. I know.
Okay.
Some people say it shouldn't be because half of the game is just a port, but the other half is brand new, totally new, enough new. Okay, and that is Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Bowser's Fury is brand new, open world Mario game, right? Where you can finish it in any order you like.
Yep.
It's definitely new. Now I want to say I haven't beaten it in large part because I played Super Mario 3D World, the Wii U port, and it took me a while because towards the end it gets really hard, gets really difficult. So I wanted to beat that part. And then I got to this, I was sort of Mario'd out, but I really enjoyed it, and I do want to get back to it. It's on my list. I took it with me to Mexico. Thought I would finish it on the beach, but I ended up falling asleep.
I mean, when you have one too many margaritas in my ties, I get it.
I had about 10 mimosas at that point, yeah.
Ooh, love it.
So, but Bowser's Fury could be where they're taking the Mario franchise next. More open world setting.
Right.
Yeah, and this is the thing that kills me, and this is what made Super Mario World that much more better, right? Like you can once you get a power up, and then you get another power up, you can save one, and so when you get hit, that power up drops from the sky. In Bowser's Fury, if you get 3 cat suits, you save those 3 cat suits on the side. If you get three power flowers, you can save those. You can save, I think, is up to 3 for each category, each suit.
Oh,
that's fantastic.
So you're saying it's just like Super Mario Bros. 3 with the inventory?
No,
it is
actually. No,
it is.
No,
I'm
not saying that.
You can store more than one item.
I'm not saying that.
Well.
All right, you know what? I take this game off the list. I'm bringing Returnal.
No. It's such a good pick.
I'm bringing Returnal back.
All right.
Returnal's back on the list.
Come on now.
All right. Number 2. Near Replicant version 1.2289743 ABC 982,001.
Yeah.
I know what you're gonna say. This is still just a port of an older 360 game. However, it's not just a port. It has definitely some upgraded improvements to the mechanics, and you can run. By the way, couldn't run in the first game, which slowed you up. And it's a brand new protagonist. It's the protagonist from the Japanese version, not the original version that came out in America.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Look, I'm never one to say, unless it was just like a very minor. It was essentially like a port. I wouldn't necessarily kick it off the table, right? It seems like there's enough new in this game.
They changed the whole protagonist. Who you playing? They completely changed.
Right.
So,
nice. Okay.
But my number 1, I gotta give it to Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I had a fun time. It's the first next gen or current gen game I beat twice. This game,
you loved it so much, you beat it twice.
Well, I accidentally beat it on easy. I had to go back and beat it.
I mean, yeah.
I love the dynamic between I can't think of her name. Rivet? No. Rivet, yeah.
Rivet, yeah.
I love the dynamic between Rivet and the new Clank, right? They're pretty much the versions in another dimension of Ratchet and Clank. I can't think of the robot, but there's a big rift between Rivet and the. I don't want to spoil it for you because I know eventually you will play this.
As soon as I can get my hands on a PS5. Yeah.
And I'll just say she has a decision to make regarding her relationship with that machine that I don't know if I could do. So, and
you're talking about putting on some Barry White and breaking out the wine.
No, but I am talking about maybe forgiveness. We'll say.
All right. This guy. Okay.
There was a slight twist I didn't see coming with that. And you get a million weapons in this game. I love the cyberpunk world, the cyberpunk sort of themed world.
They did it right? They did Cyberpunk 2077 better than Cyberpunk 2077 did.
Yes, they did. I love the different themes of the worlds. And definitely this is one game. I know they're looking maybe to port some of the PS5 only games to PS4 because people can't get their hands on a PS5 and they want more people to buy these games. This is a game that can't work on a PS4. Like there's one point in the game where you have to switch dimensions like on the fly where you're hitting the crystal. That is something a PS4 wouldn't be able to do.
Right.
So I you definitely are switching dimensions on the fly in a certain level. Right. So I think this game is fantastic. Ratchet and Clank is back, and I can't wait for, the second version, which will probably just be a spinoff with just Rivet. I could see that happening too. Yeah. And flesh out her story as a sort of a side game in the Ratchet and Clank series. Just like they did Clank. It was just a game with Clank in it for the PSP.
That's right. Clank, Secret Agent Clank. Yeah, for the PSP. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my game of the year so far.
Nice.
My half game of the year.
All right.
So that's it. Dave, we have a weekend before 4th of July weekend. Any plans? Any big plans? Gonna barbecue?
I am going upstate and riding down the river. It's gonna be a beautiful time, Dan.
Yeah.
You get to sit in a tube. You ride for 3 hours. Very slow current. Not a lot of rapids. It's nice and easy. You can bring beverages on there, so you can get totally hammered on the river, which we always do. Bust out the speaker, right? We got some tunes going down the river, and you just relax. You don't think about anything. There's not even cell phone coverage, so you can't even get bombarded with texts and emails. None of that.
So are you in a raft? You're in a
like a tube. Boat? Yeah, you're in a tube.
Okay, you can keep all of that. I'm good.
Oh, Dan, it's fantastic.
I'm good.
It's very low stakes. I've only lost like 3 friends out of all the times I've been down the river.
Okay. All right. You know what? I'll be walking down the river with you guys. Just in case you need it.
Last year, actually, to be somewhat serious, last year we almost got stuck because the current essentially stopped and we were moving so slow. And the sun started going down, which means like the water's going to get like super cold. And also you can't see anything because it's like dark and there's no lights, right? There's barely any lights on the road, which is way over beyond all the trees. So not enough to get you through. We were like kind of freaking out. But every other time it's been fine.
You don't have like one oar on there so you can like direct yourself just in case?
They're just like, they're like big inner tubes, right? They're like when you go to the water park and you go in the lazy river. All right. It's that. Yeah. It's that style.
You guys are insane. I'm good.
Well, how about you? What are you doing? What are you doing this weekend?
I was thinking about jumping back into Cyberpunk. Now Cyberpunk has returned to the PlayStation Store. So you can now buy it digitally on the PlayStation Store.
I've seen.
They do put a warning on it.
Yeah.
And, this isn't, you shouldn't play it on a base PS4. You should play it on a PS4 Pro, or ideally PS5.
On the PS5. Right.
Yeah.
So
I may get back into it. I'm
yeah.
thinking about it.
Yeah, they've been making a lot of improvements, man. They haven't stopped. Like, patches keep coming out. So if you ever get back into it, it's probably going to be a hell of a bunch of patches to get in there. But that's great, because I know they're focusing on console right now and trying to make that a good experience. So
and if you do buy it whenever the next gen version comes out, it will be, you'll get the upgrade for free.
Yeah, that's right. Well, all right. That's episode 278 in the books, folks. We want to thank you guys for listening to the show and liking, commenting, doing all the good stuff that you guys do. If you want to interact with us, and we know that you do, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Rated G for Gamers. Finally, we are part of the Gaming Podcast Alliance. You can check out all of the fine podcasts featured on there at gamingpodcastalliance.com if you're looking for more gaming goodness. So, please listen, like, rate, review, and subscribe. And as always,
keep gaming.